Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Let's talk about pensions. Britain once had a truly excellent pension system, and then Gordon Brown came to be the Chancellor in 1997 and used it as his personal cash cow. So much so that final salary pensions basically don't exist. They were raising 5 billion a year for the Treasury, and this was back when 5 billion a year was a lot of money. And today, because of his actions, the Treasury earns bugger all. Well, it does, but very little, because those final salary pensions don't really exist anymore. Except, of course, in the public sector. That's where everyone who works for the public sector gets one. Very nice too. Although they shouldn't. Now, of course, they are untouchable. No chancellor will touch them because, the strikes in the public sector would break the country. But it does give us a liability of something like £2.7 trillion as it stands now. And yet they are inviolable for some strange reason. But she launched. She did launch a pension grab at the last budget. She hopes to raise 1.5 billion by bringing unused pension into inheritance tax. But what that's actually done is more than what Brown did. It's destroyed even more faith in having a pension. Why should you have a pension for your future if the government aren't even going to guarantee that you'll get it? It's very, very weird. They're just going to tax you for it. And indeed, depending on circumstances, you can lose up to 80% of that pension should you die at the unfortunate time. And now she's coming after pensionable, the relief. So that when you get your money, you earn your money, and then you say, right, take that off and put it into my pension. You don't pay tax on that. And that goes into your pension, it's tax-free. If you're a high-paid taxpayer, if you're a 45% taxpayer, that's a big saving on income tax, isn't it? But at least it does give you a good pension, so you're not reliant on the state later on. She looks to get rid of that, and she wants a flat rate in at 25%, and she'll dress it as helping the poorest in society. But what it will actually just do is destroy even more faith in the pension system, and fewer people will want to pay in. And the pension companies aren't fighting against this cash in, so hard over this. Now, they brought in the rule that you're not allowed to touch your pension until you're 55. No one can access their pension until they're 55, with one exception, of course, the tax man. If someone dies before they're 55, their pension can still be hit with inheritance tax. It's another slap in the face for pension savers, isn't it? It's all the time. It's slap, 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 because they hate the idea of pensioners. And of course, this year's budget is going to be the final nail in the coffin for that. You're going to ask why? Why are they going after pensioners? Well, I think it's because the pensioners are the ones that voted for Brexit. And I think she's giving the pensioners a punishment beating for the referendum result. She may also take an axe to what they call salary sacrifice. That's where you save on national insurance by taking some of the salary as pension contributions rather than as an income as well. And they want to up the cap, the tax-free lump sum, and capping it at say £100,000 or even £75,000. So when you get to that age of 55, think, right, I can take a quarter of my pension out tax-free. She's going to limit that number. Again, why? Because she needs the money. She doesn't like the idea of people having money. It's your money. It's your money that you've been paying in. You should not have to do that. Now, nothing is safe, of course, as I say, in regards to pension, except, of course, public sector pensions. Now, the old deal was you got a good pension in the public sector if you didn't get the same monies that you'd earned in the private sector. The trouble is now they earn the same monies as the private sector, or frequently more, but they've still got all those excellent pensions. And the public sector pensions pay roughly 3 times as much as private sector pensions. So, maybe they should go after the public sector pensions first. They're the big ones. But she hasn't got the balls to do that, has she? So, come the October Omni Shambles, expect anyone who's in the private sector to have your pension screwed, taken from you, taxed, cancelled, stolen, Gordon Brown style. But if you're in the public sector, they're not going to touch it because she daren't. They really hate the pensioners, don't they? And that's what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of changes to the pensions in this country. And it'll leave some people impoverished in their old age, thinking they were going to be okay because they saved their pensions. And it's going to leave the young especially thinking, do you know what? It's just not bloody worth it. And they'll stop paying in and they'll opt out of the private pensions, the workplace pensions, because this woman is driving people out. That's how bad she is. I cannot overestimate how fucking useless she is. Thanks very much. Bye.